What's up, all my huntsmen and huntswomen out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another Rwby Volume 8 episode review. This time it's episode 4 titled Fault, which is what a lot of people are trying to find out in this episode. Whose fault is it? Who's at fault here? Ultimately, everyone's blaming everyone else, and nobody's coming up with any real solutions. Because what can you do when everything you do seems to be the wrong choice? Let's jump in as we open up with Robin Hill giving her best material in terms of story time and stand up, trying to get a chuckle out of Crow however she can. He's all doom and gloom and death and despair, but can't really blame him on that. He really did believe that Clover and him had something special, that maybe they're different attractions, his semblance would finally be negated. He finally wouldn't have to lose somebody because of it. Maybe something positive could actually happen in his life. But he's beating himself up. He feels like he made a deal with the devil, and because of that, he lost. And he lost someone who really could have meant a lot more to him. But Robin Hill really sympathizes with this, with a semblance that causes you to always know if someone's telling the truth or not. People tend not to get too close to you. So Robin Hill might be one of the few people who truly understand Crow. It's a nice little moment, Crow's getting some nice needed catharsis. Hopefully something positive can come from Robin Hill and Crow's growing relationship for the most part. And then we have Arthur Watts, who is shoved back into his cell. And Harriet, who's also there, digs into Crow a little bit, demanding Clover's badge, feeling that he's not deserving of it. Not after what he did. But, Robin Hill makes it very well known that obviously they don't want the truth. Because Robin knows that Crow didn't kill Clover. And if they really wanted to know, they'd let her, go in and find out. But she feels that ultimately Harriet and the rest of them don't actually want the truth. They just want someone to blame. And Harriet actually considers for a moment taking Robin Hill up on this offer. And I love this little moment because you see, through some nice cinematography that, while Robin Hill is completely in the light, we have Arthur Watts completely in the dark, along with the Atlesian military forces. I should have had the picture, but you have completely in the dark with the Atlesian forces who are going down a wrong path. You have Harriet who keeps going from one extreme to the other, so it seems very much like she's struggling with this. Like, she wants to go one way, but she's constantly going back to the other because of her allegiances. Crow and even Marrow are kind of straddling that line because even Marrow's kind of on the line of, not really believing in what they're doing. And, well, if you see the image, we see that Jock is completely irrelevant. He's completely just, blotted out by shadow and all that good stuff. But it's a wonderful moment. It's some great cinematography and acting in this series, and it just really impresses each and every time. But we pick up with Yang's group trying to chase down the Hound as it has captured Oscar. And when Ren manages to grapple onto the Hound and it tries to its best to shake him off, and honestly, Ren takes a hell of a beating throughout this. He hits damn near every rock in that canyon. But then the Hound gives a cry for reinforcements, and Grim start popping out of the woodwork, something that we've never seen before. Grim just under the command of another Grim. Yeah, that really does go to show that the Hound is definitely something dastardly special. But ultimately, they come to a cliff that they can't cross as the Hound manages to get away, flying off to Salem, with Ren just barely managing to save John and Yang. But they've lost Oscar completely. Meanwhile, every Ruby's team ends up heading to the Schnee mansion, with Whitley not being too happy about this, but they need a place to take Nora and make sure that she's okay and get some medical attention. And Ruby actually ends up wondering if Yang is okay, as she actually tried to contact Yang, but she can't get anything, as they can't get any reception out in the tundra. They're too far out, as Yang Groups does their best to walk back to a nearby outpost they had found. But it quickly devolves into an argument with Yang getting a little fed up with Ren's bad attitude. And whereas Yang points out all the successes that they did have, Ren is of the opinion that they've had too many losses, too many failures. He's under the belief that they weren't good enough to be made huntsmen, and that ultimately they're just too inexperienced to be making the choices that they've been making. That it never should have been something that's in their hands. That they're too inexperienced, too incapable, and other people should be making the decisions, even going so far as to believe that maybe they should have turned everything over to Ironwood and let him make the decisions, which of course Yang doesn't go with. While she did ultimately side with a lot of decisions that Ren has gone with, ultimately she doesn't believe in the thought that Ironwood was right. She doesn't believe in any of that. And while John does his best to try to defuse the entire situation, Ren even goes so far as to snap at him, bringing up the fact that he snuck his way into Beacon, which is an absolute low blow. And John doesn't blow up at this. He takes that one on the chin. That was a savage comment by Ren. But, Jean marches forward, at least still trying to get the job done no matter what. With Yang even commenting that Ren seems determined to push everyone away at this point. Meanwhile, we pick up with, poor little Oscar in Salem. And, the Hound presents Oscar to Salem, and he tries his best to bluff that he is Ozpin, but Salem sees right through it, demanding that he tell her what he knows about the relic under Beacon, which her forces were never able to get to. But unfortunately, Oscar knows nothing. Or fortunately, maybe fortunately for Oscar, he doesn't know a thing. But when she questions about the lamp and how to access it, and Oscar says that it's all out of wishes, she gives him a hell of a blast. We're talking like some Emperor Palpatine Force Lightning shit. I don't know how he survived this, honestly, but Oscar doesn't give in. I'll give it to the kid. He is a trooper. But unfortunately, Salem has all the time in the world. And Hazel, oh, he's all too willing to get some much needed catharsis over everything that has happened. It's an unfortunate situation. I feel so bad for Oscar. Oscar doesn't deserve any of this. But Salem ends up being confronted by Cinder, who's determined to get the power of the Winter Maiden. But Salem says, no, I'll tell you when I want you to go out. That's final. That's my decision, and that's it. You are nothing without me. Just remember that. It just basically putting Cinder down completely. But ultimately, Cinder decides that she's still going to head to Atlas because she has a hunch, feeling that ultimately the goody two shoes won't give up on their plan to communicate with the rest of the world. And while Neo has her reservations about all this, Emerald is all too willing to do what she can to prove herself to Cinder, who reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, while Jean tries his best to just talk to Ren, get him to just accept that, yeah, you're feeling scared, you're feeling intimidated by everything, but that's not a reason to just give up, to just shut yourself off. But Ren doesn't respond to this, and Yang does say that, hey, what he said before was out of line. You've come a long way, Jean. You've done so much, you've grown so much, you've become a better person because of it. And he really has. And, honestly, poor John. He's been through a lot, but he's been determined to do his best. And Yang has a moment where she thinks about if she will ever forgive her for not siding with her. And at first, Jean kind of takes this to mean that maybe Yang is questioning if Rwby is okay with her not going along with her decisions. But it soon becomes clear that Rwby wasn't the one she was talking about. He was actually talking about Blake. Mm. But as Jean gets some rest, Yang decides that she'll just stay up and make sure that Ren doesn't freeze himself to death. However, something stirs within a nearby lake. Hopefully it's not too much filler, but what can you do? But that's the end of the episode. It was a thrilling chase throughout the canyon. They ended up losing all of the bikes, which they just got those. The Hound, what an intimidating piece of work. It really does make me question, what is this thing? How did she create it? How old is it that is able to do so much? Time will tell on that one. But the moment with Ren, it just I get Ren's desperation and fears and second guessing, but him taking it out on his friends, that's going a step too far, man. You gotta rein those emotions in. And Cinder, oh god, what Cinder's doing, she's definitely gonna pay for this. I doubt Salem's gonna let her off scot-free for what she's trying to do. And Ren, oh, dude, you need to calm down. You need to talk to someone, man. I get that he feels like he's in over his head, but everyone on his team and beyond have been doing so much in order to make sure things are right. And mm, I don't know, it begs a lot of questions on where Ren's character is going. Hopefully, it's somewhere positive where he'll grow and develop, but only time will tell. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about the whole spat between Ren and Yang and John? Do you think it was warranted, or do you feel that Ren was very much out of line in all of this? And ultimately, who will survive? What's in that lake? What's going on? What's going to happen next? What is Cinder going to do? Just so many questions and not enough answers. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think will happen next? Where do you think the world of ponies will go? And until then, if you like this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another Rwby episode review. And until the next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye bye.